it's your host Shivani with Crystal Perceptions. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite crystals. It's rose quartz. It's not like a rare stone, but as I started thinking about my series, I thought, why not talk about one of my favorite crystals? When I was a child, rose quartz was one of the very first stones that I was drawn to in those tumbled stone bins where kids can pick out a crystal for $1. I would always grab rose quartz. I've got 4 rose quartz to show you today. Got this sphere. I've got this more natural shaped piece. And these 2 tumbles. Now, rose quartz is a 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. It's a silicon oxygen mineral, and it's pink due to trace amounts of titanium, iron, or manganese. It's a powerful stone of unconditional love, infinite peace, compassion, joy, and it gently removes negative energy and replaces it with loving vibrations. Rose quartz teaches you to love yourself and encourages self-forgiveness. It also helps bring about acceptance, and it's very compassionate in its energy. Rose quartz is popular for the bedroom. It brings a sense of tranquility to your space. Rose quartz is known to improve sleep and also give you great dreams. I think it's a great crystal for beginners since it's very heart-centered and somewhat grounding, but also illuminated and has that kind of transparency to it. I think it's great for a beginner because it's not going to send you right off into space like, say, like an apophyllite would. It brings you kind of into that heart space, and it's a really great place to begin. Like, it just feels so nice. Oh. So when I started working with crystals again as an adult, I wasn't particularly drawn to any crystal. I just went to a crystal shop and I used to visit the crystals like it was a museum because I didn't know what to buy or have money to buy anything. And one day I was in there and the lady said, all the crystals are 50% off. I grabbed a beautiful rose quartz and some fluorite and my jewelry, and that kind of kicked off my new journey with my crystals. And today I wanted just to bring in some really nice, warm, soothing rose quartz vibes. So I brought my rose quartz ball, and this is the one that this is right now my favorite crystal for sleeping. This crystal helps me sleep a lot, really, really well. When I first started working with crystals, I actually used to sleep with a bunch of kyanite stones, and I would also sleep with other crystals that I would get downloads from while I slept. I do love to do dream work with crystals and meditation in the hypnagogic and hypnopompic state. And I was doing a lot of work with my nervous system, and I could actually feel my nervous system being healed by some of those kyanite crystals. So I spent a long time working with the kyanite until my nerves were a lot better. I definitely don't feel the cold in my extremities the way I used to. And now I can sleep with this wonderful rose quartz in my hand. Lately, I haven't been able to sleep with any other crystals in my hand because I have had shocks that I get from them. I get as my body is going into a deeper sleep, my nerves are communicating together. I must have just become more sensitive. This is a raw piece of rose quartz. And you can really see the translucency of it. I actually bought this for my mother, and it was sitting in the house for a while before I had a chance to see her and give it to her. And I put it in her hand, and without even a minute, she held this crystal and said, I think this crystal is working with you, and I think you need to keep it. So this crystal just basically, for me, was keeping my space feeling really warm and inviting. I put it in a hallway and it just brightened the feeling up. Actually, back then I think I had too many crystals in my space. I was really starting to get to know crystals and I had just like crystals everywhere. And I kind of now feel more like a crystal is like a song. The way that I feel when I hear a song, it's not always something you can define. It's not something you can always put into words. And maybe one version is going to be a little different. If you hear someone play a cover of Heart of Gold, it's not going to be exactly like the Neil Young version, but it's still the same song. That's kind of how I feel about stones. Rose quartz is just, it's been there a lot of times when I needed to feel more compassion and more love, more of that unconditional love. I really think that the two main qualities of rose quartz are unconditional love and compassion. And so with rose quartz, it's like you could feel self-love, you could feel love for another person, you could feel that universal love, you could feel love just radiating in it and without having any real direction of it. My friend who is a Reiki master, she actually heated this up one time with the chi from her hand that she was generating. And it always seemed to be a little bit more purple ever since then. And this one was my crystal for my house that radiated the warm, beautiful love energy throughout my house. These two smaller crystals that I actually got when I was a child, and I chose these, you know, either me or my sister did, I'm not really sure, from a crystal shop as a child, and they have been in my life. Mostly I've had them in storage, but when I started bringing all of my crystals together and cleaning them, these guys came out too. So, in addition to my rose quartz that I brought to show you, I brought a rose. This isn't a real rose because I didn't want to pick any from outside because that would take them away from the bees. So I brought a silk rose, and I just wanted to share this with everyone to get that rose energy. I sprayed some rose perfume in the room. I have candles burning. And this is my rose tea. So I made tea with rose petals and honey. I'll actually eat these pieces of rose that are in my tea. Rose petals are very full of vitamin C. They're really good for you. With this smaller rose quartz, I will sometimes combine it with a clear quartz point that I use specifically for physical healing and put that in a gem elixir. So this crystal, my clear point, some rose water, and some rose petals and honey. I'll put that in a clear wine glass with purified water, spring water. I don't let it sit for very long. Some people keep their crystal elixirs for a long time to really infuse that vibration. I find that it doesn't take very long. Sometimes I'll meditate with that glass of water because when there are rainbows and the sunshine is coming through that glass of water, something about it just sends me into a really peaceful state. And it's great if you have things like anxiety. I'm not trying to give medical advice, and I know a lot of things like that can have a medical cause, and I'm not trying to downplay that at all. But just for the purpose of calming down, centering yourself, it's great as a great practice to meditate and having that something to focus on. That could be your crystal or your gem elixir in water catching light. It can be very relaxing. I also brought my Pacifica rose water lip balm out to share today because everything is rose themed. It smells really good. I've been wanting to make a 30-minute music piece that is called Rose Quartz, and it's to specifically help calm down anxieties and calm down insomnia. So like with the idea of to incorporate that music with self-care, so a 30-minute bath or a 30-minute massage or a 30-minute meditation as you fall asleep to just kind of guide you into a more restful state. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I've just been waiting for the right time, so it'll be coming soon. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video on Rose Quartz. I'm Shivani. This is Crystal Perceptions. You can check out my store. Like and subscribe. When the doors of perception are cleansed, everything will appear as it truly is. Infinite. Namaste.